Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahaganaragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganalalita Sri Visakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyabari Pashattare Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaitat Kadadar Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. So, okay, today we continue chapter 6, text number 27. Prasantamanasam yenam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantam rajasam brahmabhutam akalmasham. Prashanta, mind fixed on the lotus feet of Krishna. Manasam, of one whose mind is so fixed. He, certainly. Enam, this. Yoginam, the yogi. Sukham, happiness. Uttamam, the highest. Upaiti, attains. Shantara rajasam, pacified passion. Brahmabhutam, liberated by identification with the Absolute. Akalmasham, freed from all past sinful reactions. Translation. The yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest happiness. By virtue of his identity with the Brahman, he is liberated. His mind is peaceful, his passions are quieted, and he is freed from sin. Purport. Brahma Bhuta is the state of being free from material contamination and situated in transcendental service of the Lord. Mad Bhaktim Labate Param, Bhagavad Gita 1854. One cannot remain in the quality of Brahman, the Absolute, until one's mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. Savai Manah Krishna Padara Vindayo. To be always engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord or to remain in Krishna consciousness is to be factually liberated from the mode of passion and all material contamination. Okay, one more. Yunjan evam saratmanam yogi vikata kalmasaha sukhena brahma samparsham adyantam sukham ashnute. Text 28. Yunjan, thus being engaged in yoga practice. Evam, thus, sada, always, atmanam, Atmanam, self, yogi, one who is in touch with the Supreme Self. Vigata is freed from kalmashaha, all material contamination. Sukhena, in transcendental happiness. Brahmasamparsham, being in constant touch with the Supreme. Atyantam, highest. Sukham, happiness. Ashnute, attains. Translation. Steady in the self, being freed from all material contamination, the yogi achieves the highest perfectional stage of happiness in touch with the Supreme Consciousness. Purport. Self-realization means knowing one's constitutional position in relationship to the Supreme. The individual soul is part and parcel of the Supreme, and his position is to render transcendental service to the Lord. This transcendental contact with the Supreme is called Brahma Samparsha. Brahma Samparsha. Self-realization means so this position of rendering service to the Lord and that contact is called Brahma Samparsha. Okay, who wants to read the next one then?
I can read it.
Haribol, yes, Prabhu.
Ribol. Sarvabhutastam Atmanam Sarvabhutani Tatmani Iktate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshana Sarvabhutastam, situated in all beings, Atmanam, the super soul, Sarva, all, Bhutani, entities, Cha, also, Atmani, in the self, Iktate, thus see, Yoga Yuktatma, one who is dovetailed in Krishna consciousness, Sarvatra, everywhere, Samadarshana, being equally, translation. The true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees everything in me. Indeed, the self-realized man sees me everywhere. Purport. The Krishna conscious yogi is the perfect seer because he sees Krishna, supreme, situated in everyone's heart as super soul, Paramatma, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam, Vikesher Gunas Tishtati. The Lord in his Paramatma feature is situated within both the heart of the dog and that of the Brahmana. Perfect yogi knows that the Lord is eternally transcendental and is not materially affected by his presence in either a dog or a Brahmana. That is the supreme neutrality of the Lord. The individual soul is also situated in the individual heart. He is not present in all hearts. That is the distinction between the individual soul and the super soul. One who is not factually in the practice of yoga cannot see so clearly. Krishna conscious person can see Krishna in the heart of both the believer and non-believer. In the Smriti, this is confirmed as follows. Atatvat mat pritvat atma viparamo hari. The Lord, being the source of all beings, is like the mother and maintainer. As the mother is neutral to all different kinds of children, the Supreme Father or Mother is also. Consequently, the Super Soul is always in every living being. Outwardly, also, every living being is situated in the energy of the Lord. As will be explained in the 7th chapter, the Lord has primarily two energies, the spiritual or superior, the material or inferior. The living entity, although part of the superior energy, is conditioned by the inferior energy. The living entity is always in the Lord's energy. Every living entity is situated in him in one way or another. The yogi sees equally because he sees that all living entities, although in different situations according to the results of this world, in all circumstances remain the servant of God. While in the material energy, the living entity serves the material senses, while in spiritual energy, he serves the Supreme Lord directly. In either case, the living entity is the servant of God. This vision of equality is perfect in the person and Krishna consciousness. Yo mam pashyati
One second, one
sarvatra.
second. I'll see this again. A true yogi observes me in all beings and also sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized me in all beings and also every being in me. So Krishna is in everything and Krishna is outside of everything. All beings.
Yeah.
Because in one verse, Krishna says that I'm in everything, but they are not in me. How that verse goes? It's in Gita also. Maybe it
I
comes.
know what you mean.
So one time
That was so.
one time I got confused because he says I'm in everything, or was it the other way around? Let's find it. I want to clear it now.
Yeah, Yeah, something like he's in everything, and we are living in him, but he is also out, like individual of like I don't get it. It's so it was amazing to try to even understand it. Like what? We're always in
Yeah,
him,
what
but
was the
he is
verse?
aloof from us still.
How I cannot find it. Here.
No, I am not in them.
Is it 9:5?
What was the chapter?
Yeah.
89.
न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्यामे योगमैश्वरं भूता बृहन्न च भूतस्थो ममात्मा भूतभावनः. Never, never, cha also matstani, situated in me. Bhutani, all creation. So all creation is situated in me. Never. Just Pashya, just see. Me, my Yogam Aishvaram, inconceivable mystic power. Bhuta Brit, the maintainer of all living entities. Na, never. Cha, also Bhutasta, in the cosmic manifestation. Mama, my Atma, self. Bhuta Bhavanaha, the source of all manifestation. Everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not part of this cosmic manifestation for. No, this is not the verse. Or is this. Is there different. Is there.
Yeah, this is not the one. I know
Yeah.
that there is the one where he says he's aloof from like he's in, even though we are in him, but he is still
Yeah.
there's some individual, like he's
Here.
not part of us.
Yeah, it is that previous verse. It is 9:4. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyaktamurtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham des avastitaha. Maya, by me, tatam pervaded idam this sarvam, all jagat, cosmic manifestation. By me, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded. Avyaktamurtina, by the unmanifested form, matstani, in me, sarva bhutani, all living entities, na not, cha also, aham, I, teshu, in them, avashtita, situated. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. So this understand that Krishna is in everything. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Yeah, sometimes I got, because I was thinking that Krishna is Paramatma and he's in everything, and like how to understand this. Okay, let's read the purport, if then we understand. The Supreme Person of Godhead is not perceivable through the gross material senses. It is said, Atah Sri Krishna Nama Dina Bhavet Grahyam Indriyai Sevon Muke Hiji Vado Svayam Eva Spurat Ada. Lord Sri Krishna's name, fame, pastime cannot be understood by material senses. Only to one who is engaged in pure devotional service under proper guidance is he revealed. In the Brahma Samhita 538 it is stated, Brahmanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadeva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. One can see the Supreme Person of Godhead, Govinda, always within himself and outside himself, if one has developed the transcendental loving attitude towards him. Thus, for people in general, he is not visible. Here it is said that although he is all pervading, everywhere present, he is not conceivable by material senses. This is indicated here by the word avyaktamurtina. It means by unmanifested form. But actually, although we cannot see him, everything is resting in him. As we have discussed in the 7th chapter, the entire material cosmic manifestation is only a combination of his two energies, the superior spiritual energy and the inferior material energy. Just as the sunshine is spread all over the universe, the energy of the Lord is spread all over the creation, and everything is resting in that energy. So we see the sun rays. The sun rays, everything that you see, sun is there, but sun is not inside that object that we are seeing. But still the sun rays are everywhere because we couldn't see anything if there wasn't sun rays. So maybe it's understood like that. Because the sun rays can be inside my room, but the sun is never inside my room. So yeah, I think that is the way to understand it. Yet one should not conclude that because he is spread all over, he has lost his personal existence. To refute such an argument, the Lord says, I am everywhere and everything is in me, but still I am aloof. Yeah, that is the point, that still I am aloof. Even though if he was inside everything, still he's aloof. So that is the point of that verse. So he is also inside everything and outside everything, but still at the same time he is aloof. Because Paramatma is inside every particle that there is. For example, a king heads a government which is but the manifestation of the king's energy. The different governmental departments are nothing but the energies of the king, and each department is resting on the king's power. But still one cannot accept the king to be present in every department personally. So in every minister, the authority of the king is there, but the king is not there himself. That is crude example. Similarly, all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists both in this material world and in the spiritual world are resting on the energy of the Supreme Person of Godhead. The creation takes place by the fusion of these different energies. So the energy is there in full, and when the creation is there, it gets diffused, some of his energies. And as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vishtabhyaham idam Krishnam, he is everywhere present by his personal representation, the diffusion of his different energies. Yes, this is interesting. Did we? Yes, I think we read the purport. He serves the Supreme. Okay, Ero Prabhu, you can read one more.
Yo mam pashyati sarvam cha mayi pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. Yeah, whoever mam me pashyati sees sarvatra everywhere, sarvam everything, cha and mayi in me pashyati he sees tasya is aham I na not pranashyami I'm lost. Saha he cha also me to me na nor pranashyati is lost. Translation: for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Purport: a person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of the material nature, but in each and every instance he is conscious of Krishna, knowing that everything is the manifestation of Krishna's energy. Nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, position transcendental even to material liberation. Is the stage beyond self-realization at which the devotee becomes one with Krishna, in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee becomes full in love in Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee then exists. In that stage, the living entity attains in his immortality, nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of the sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. The devotee takes no such risk. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Sanda Sadaiva Hidayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shyama Sundaram Achintya Vinasvarupam Govindam Adipurusam Brahmaham Bhajami. I worship the primeval Lord, Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee, whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. His sin is in his eternal form of Shyama Sundara, situated within the heart of the devotee. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. Hari Bol, thank you for this.
Yes, this is a really nice point. This because yesterday I was outside at the city center, and one of those Red Cross persons came to talk to me, and he says that his guru is Paramatma, or he didn't say Paramatma, but he says that my guru is in my heart, and that is my guru only. And I said, okay, but this answers that in the case of a yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, so next time I should ask him to describe the Paramatma, because if the guru is inside his heart, he should be able to see it if he's a yogi and can communicate with. He should be able to describe all the features of the Paramatma. So from such person, I should give this argument that if you are connected with Paramatma and you say that the Guru is in your heart and you can know him clearly and what he says and it's not your mind, then describe the Paramatma. What he looks like. Is he tall? What is his size? And how many hands? What is the color? What he's doing? How does he look? So he should be able to describe them if he's a real yogi. Okay, who wants to read next one?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances over to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Sarva Sarvabhuta Stitam Yomam Bhajate Ektavam Astitha Sarvatha Vratamno Pi Sayogi Mai Pratyate. Sarva Bhuta Stitam, situated in everyone's heart. Yaha one, he who mam unto me bhajati, serve in devotional service. Ekatvam, oneness. Astitaha, those situated. Sarvataha, in all respects. Vartamanaha, being situated. Api, in the spite of. Saha, he, yogi, transcendentalist. My, unto me. Vartate, remains. Translation: the yogi who knows that I and the super soul within all creatures are one worships me and remains always in me in all circumstances. Purport: a yogi who is practicing meditation on super soul sees within himself the plenary version of Krishna as Vishnu, with four hands holding conchal, wheel, globe, and lotus flower. The yogi should know that Vishnu is not different from Krishna. Krishna is the form of super soul. He is situated in everyone's heart. Furthermore, there is no difference between the innumerable super soul present in the innumerable hearts of living entities, nor is there a difference between a Krishna consciousness person always engaged in the transcendental loving service of Krishna and a perfect yogi engaged in meditation of the super soul. The yogi is in The yogi in Krishna consciousness, even though he may be engaged in various activities, well in material existence, remains always situated in Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhakti Samrata Sindhu of Srila Rupa Goswami, Nikhilesu Avastasu Jivan Mukta Sa Yuchyate. A devotee of the Lord always acting in Krishna consciousness is automatically liberated. In the Narada Panchatattva, this is confirmed in this way. Dikkaladhe anavahini Krishna cheto vidya cha tanmayo bhavati krisiparam jivo brahmani yojyate. By concentrating one's attention on the transcendental form of Krishna, who is all prevailing and behind time and space, one becomes absorbed in thinking of Krishna and then attains the happy state of transcendental association with him. Krishna consciousness is the highest stage of in yoga practice. This very understanding that Krishna is present as Paramatma in everyone's heart makes the yogi faultless. The Vedas confirm this inconceivable potency of the Lord as follows: Ekopi san bahudha yo vabhati aishwaryad rupam ekam cha suryavad bahudeyate. Vishnu is one, and yet he is certainly all prevailing. By his inconceivable potency, in spite of his one form, he is present everywhere. As the sun, he appears in many places at once. Who wants to continue? May I continue?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, you can read one more.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. आत्मनुपम्येन सर्वत्र समं पश्यति योऽर्जुन सुखं वा यदि वा दुःखं स योगी परमो मतः. Atma, self, anupamanyena, by comparison, sarvatra, everywhere, samam, equality, pashyati, sees, ihu, Arjuna, O Arjuna, sukam, happiness, va, or yadi, if, va, or dukkam, distress, saha, such yogi, transcendentalist, paramaha, perfect, matha, consider. Translation: he is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings, both in their happiness and distress. O Arjuna, about one who is Krishna consciousness is a perfect yogi. He is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. The cause of the distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with God, and the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all the activity of the human being. Krishna is a proprietor of all lands and plants. The perfect yogi is the sincerest friend of all living entity. He knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subjected to the threefold material miseries due to forgetfulness of his relationship with Krishna. Because one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna everywhere. Since the perfect yogi tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna consciousness, he is the best philanthropist in the world, and he is the dearest servitor of the Lord. Na sat na tasmat kaschid me priyakrit tamaha. In other words, a devotee of Lord always looks to the welfare of all living entities, and in this way, he is factually the friend of everyone. He is the best yogi because he does not desire perfection in yoga for his personal benefit, but he tries for others also. He does not envy his fellow living entity. Here he is a construct between pure devotee of the Lord and a yogi interested only in his personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a scheduled place, scheduled secluded secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as a devotee who is trying to his best to bring every man toward Krishna consciousness. Reward wants to
Oh,
continue.
thank you so much. Okay, let's read one more verse. Then we need to go six Astakam prayers.
Can I read this verse?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Haribo. Arjuna uvacha yoyam yogastvaya proktaha samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchaladvat stilam. Arjuna uvacha, Arjuna said, Yaha, the system, I am this, yogaha, mysticism, vaya by, but vaya by you, proktaha, describe, samyena, generally, madhusudana, O killer of the demon Madhu, etasya of this, aham, I, na, do, not, pashyami, si, chanchaladvat, due to being restless, stitim, situation, stilam, stable. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Purport: the system of mysticism seems described by the Lord Krishna to Arjuna, beginning with the word Shucho Deshe and ending with Yogi Palamaha, is here being rejected by Arjuna out of a feeling of inability. It is not possible for an ordinary man to leave home and go to a secluded place in the mountains or jungle to practice yoga in this age of Kali. The present age is characterized by a bitter struggle for a life of short duration. People are not serious about self-realization, even by simple practical means, and what to speak of this difficult yoga system, which regulates the modes of living, the manner of sitting, selection of place, and detachment of mind from material engagements. As a practical man, Arjuna thought it was impossible to follow this system of yoga, even thought he was favorably endowed in many ways. He belonged to a rather royal family and was highly elevated in terms of numerous qualities. He was a great warrior. He had great longevity, and above all, he was the most intimate friend of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. 5,000 years ago, Arjuna had much better facilities than we do now. Yet he refused to accept the system of yoga. In fact, we do not find any records in history of his practicing it at any time. Therefore, this system must be considered generally impossible in this age of Kali. Of course, it may be possible for some very few rare men, but for the people in general, it is an impossible proposal. If this were so 5,000 years ago, then what of the present day? Those who are imitating this yoga system in different so-called schools and society are thought complacent, are certainly wasting their time. They are completely in ignorance of the desired goal.
Haribol, thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Okay, Haribol, now we need to go 6 Astakam prayers. Because I need to try to fix this sadhana card today. Because it's not ready yet still. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावादुजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ते शक्ति तत्रार्पितानियमिता स्मरणेन काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान् ममापि दुर्दैवं विदृशं हेजिनी अनुभा
तृणादपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिर्हैतुकी त्वयि
ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्कलं पतितं मां विषमे भवां बुधों कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्लाविषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविलहेन मे Continue, Prabhu, please.
Okay, Prabhu. अश्लिष्य वा पादरदां विनाष्टु माम् आदर्शनं नाम मर्महातां करोतु वा यदा तदा वा विदधतु लम्बतो मत्प्राणानाथस्तु सा एव नापरा Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of benediction of moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the storm in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, give all kinds of offense, and should be ready to offer respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor I desire a beautiful woman, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaja Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separations, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna has my love, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribo, Sri Siksastakam ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki
Jai,
jai, Pancharatra ki
Jai,
jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki
Jai,
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 Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Jai,
Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada
Jai,
ki
Jai,
jai, Nitai Gaura
Jai,
Jai.
Nitai Gaura
Hari
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 Bol,
Bol.
Haribo.
Hari Hari Bol.
Haribol.